Happy New Year almost. It is December 31st, 2025. I'm recording this episode for pretty much anyone who is thinking about restarting in the new year and setting the New Year's goals and having 26 be a really great year and all the things. And what I always teach my clients, I'm not sure I've spoken about this recently, but it's clarity, consistency, confidence, creativity. Those are like my four C's. You have clarity on what you want. You build consistency in the things that support you towards that clarity. That builds confidence. And through that confidence, you're able to really flow in creativity. But what happens when creativity is hard to see, to grasp, to feel? When we're doing this work, when we're being vulnerable, we're letting the mask down, we're getting in touch with our authentic selves, we're showing that to other people, we're still getting to know ourselves. And that clarity can be fleeting. We think we want one thing and then that thing changes. Or we're in the midst of realizing that we wanted one thing and we're actually looking for something else. Because we can want something so much to work because it is familiar in ways that have perpetuated comforting behaviors that have worked in the past that we are outgrowing. So just have compassion towards yourself when you're coming into the new year, because we're not just starting over and starting the diet over and restarting our life. We're actually embodying our lived experience up until the present moment. And when we talk about that clarity, we really want it to come from wisdom, not from intellect. This wisdom will not come from intellect alone. We need to have a full body awareness of what feels right, honoring our experiences, our feelings, our desires, while giving ourselves space, while taking the pressure off, while taking away the urgency. Wisdom does not come from urgency. Wisdom comes from a break, from a lapse, from a place that is not urgent. It's calm, it's embodied, it's lived experience. And what I believe to instigate, to inform wisdom is whole body awareness. The theory of that your body is tracking trauma. I believe that the opposite is true. Your body also stores when you feel empowered. Your body stores success. Your body memorizes confidence. Your body remembers how it feels to be in positive moments as well. So in order to get to that whole body awareness, we want to be able to quiet the mind, and we want to be able to honestly observe what is going on in our body, in our periphery, in our mind, in our thoughts, and our emotions, and at any given moment. And there are many different ways to sort of observe that. But when we have full body awareness, when we have presence, which is, with that wisdom that I'm talking about, it's not emotional, it's a knowing. This is also called intuition. But we're not making this like, oh, so magical. Like, not everybody is intuitive. It's a gift. It's just like, this is not a gift for it. This is a natural ability that we all have that we must start to use, that we must start to empower ourselves, that we must start to think differently about. And the whole body awareness, the quiet mind, the open heart, the evolved soul, the knowing I am who I am, who I am, where it's like, I remember who I am. I remember where I came from. I'm standing in my truth. I am strong. I am empowered. You feel that. And you don't have to narrate it, because you feel it, you embody it, you know it. When you're forcing things, noticing where effort replaces presence, where, the narrative replaces the being, the experience, where the physicality of doing replaces the anxiety of not controlling the situation. You can't have whole body awareness when you're forcing things. You can't have that homeostasis, healing, wisdom vibe, steez when you're jamming a square peg in a round hole, even if it's with good intention, even if it's in the name of growth. Sometimes we need to just rest. We can't always be working. We have to integrate. And that integration allows us to have that whole body awareness, which sings like wisdom when we're ready to release it. It almost like seeps out. And over this last year, if you've seen a lot about the year of the snake, 2025 was the year of the snake. It was the year of shedding. It was the year of internal battles. It was the year of transformation. It was a 9 year. So it was a year of endings, ending outdated ways of thinking, ending thought patterns that no longer worked or served. And for me, I have learned and am continuing to take off these masks and be okay with being seen. And not only be okay with being seen, but be okay without accolades and confirmation from other people that are like, you're doing great. I love what you're doing. And I get some of that, but it always, always falls down to like the ground. We all know this. We get a compliment. We're like, hey, yeah. But the chatter, the negative self-limiting belief chatter, or like the trolls, they work their way up to the top because we're like, how could they think that? How could they say that? Like, it is kind of true, but why do they hate me? And the masks that continue to come off really have caused me to build a resilience to being okay without being justified by others. And I'm able to be okay without being justified by others because I have full body awareness of the truth that lives in my body, the lived experience that I have, the ways that I've felt safe in my body that may contradict what other people are saying or telling me or wanting me to believe, but that I know feel safe in my body. And allowing me to feel safe in my body under those circumstances that may conflict with external validation. That's what 2025 was about. It was about building resilience to new ways of thinking. We're pulling back the arrow. 26 is about letting it go. And when we think about the masks coming off, the ego deaths, the coming into ourselves, we must realize, and we realize that we are one with everything. Everything around us is a reflection of what is going on internally, what our belief systems are. I was talking to my husband last night at dinner. We can't control our external circumstances. We can only control them so much. So yes, we can take the action, we can do the thing, we can plan the steps, we can implement the plan. But we don't control all of the external circumstances. We don't control the weather. We don't control other people's motives or opinions or attention. So that sometimes can come with the wind. That's why a lot of people feel slighted because they're like, why am I not recognized? It's like, it's not your time. You need to wait your turn. And while you're waiting your turn, you need to change your mindset. You need to think like in line at your pharmacy instead of being like, why is this taking so long? Why is this taking so long? Be like, why am I so anxious to get out of this place? I mean, I get it. If you have somewhere else to be, then like leave the line and go give yourself the extra time to where you need to be, or learn to sit and say, wow, if I was actually speaking this out loud, what would it sound like? How can I replace the dialogue while I'm waiting for my turn to be kind to myself? Embody oneness. Because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And we need to understand that kindness and empathy towards ourselves will lend to kindness and empathy outside of us. Just like when we extend kindness and empathy to others, it fills a need in ourselves to feel it provides a sense of community for us, which is a essential human need. So while we're coming into 2026, the year of the horse, 1 year, new beginnings, year of action, year of like centripetal force, reflect on 2025. What masks have I taken off? What masks have I identified that maybe I haven't taken off yet? That will take some time to come off, because it's not like all of a sudden all the masks are off and we're rocking and rolling. We're going to have to continue to take off masks. But what masks in 2025 specifically have I noticed have prevented me from being fully embodied, have prevented me from showing up in ways that really harness my power, creativity, knowledge, authenticity, brilliance? What masks have I put on that prohibit me from shining in a way that I don't have to ask permission for? And then this last day of 2025, what needs to be felt? And maybe we can't feel it right now, but let's set the intention to feel it throughout the new year. Becoming more present in our body, really harnessing the embodied awareness so that we can let our wisdom flow in 2026, because our wisdom lives in the body. And sometimes when we admit defeat and we fold our cards is when the wisdom seeps out. And admitting defeat and folding the cards looks a hell of a lot like taking off masks. So take off the masks, feel the emotions, allow your body to integrate the information, sit with it, wait, correct what you can correct in the meantime, so that we can pull that bow and arrow back and hit the bullseye in 2026. I love you.